Let's take a chord that's applicable in a very common chord progression in the key of F. We're going to take our chord is essentially going to be a left-handed version of a G minor 7, and then we're going to tweak one finger to make it into a C7 chord. And this is a great first left-handed chord because it's so usable. You can use it in 1,000 different places. On your lesson plan, you have it written out, and I want you to look, and remember this is a left hand, okay? And I want you to look that we're playing this left-handed chord, and where you play it's very, very important. You're playing from left to right, you're playing F, G, B flat, and D, okay? You're playing F, G, B flat, and D in your left hand, and you can use either your middle finger on that middle note or your pointer finger. I think I usually use my pointer finger, whatever's comfortable for you. And I want you to look at that for a minute. Now, we're not going to play it too low down here because it's going to start to sound muddy. Listen. And one of the things about left-handed chords, you have to move up the register on the piano, okay? So we're going to play it. You don't want to get too high because then you limit your space you have for your right hand to have fun as we were playing. So you want to play the chord. Essentially, this is a G minor 7 chord. You want it playing wrapped around middle C. So C being the middle C of the piano. You want it right there. That's the best. That's where it sounds the best, okay? So I want you to take a moment and I want you to play that chord in F, G, B flat, and D. And what you're going to find is unless you had some classical training before you signed up at bsharptricks.com, you're going to find that your left hand, it feels weird playing chords because you've just been used to octaves. And so it's going to take a little bit to get used to that. Don't forget to use your arm to press that, okay, and play that. And then the second thing you're going to notice once you start playing it is you're saying, wait a minute, you said this was a G minor 7 chord, but yet the lowest note I'm playing is F. You're exactly right, okay? And what we can do with left-handed chords is if you have a bass player in a group, let him play the bass note. So in this case, he's playing G down here, listen. Okay? You don't have to cross over and do it, let him play it. Or if you have an organist, they can play it or whatever. Even if you're playing solo piano though, you can get away with this as a G minor 7 chord because in the context of key of F, people hear the G. They hear that it's this G minor 7 chord. And so it's kind of implied, they'll kind of supply that in their brain. Kind of implied harmony is what they call it. So don't freak out about the fact that we're playing a G minor 7 chord and yet we're playing F on the bottom. Just kind of go with it and roll with it, okay? So here we go. Your first left-handed chord is a G minor 7 chord. We're in the key of F in this case, and that's the 2 chord of the key of F. It's the 2 minor. So play that. Then what I want you to do is I want you to practice. You're going to keep the same chord, but this pinky, so this little bitty underused pinky here on the F, you're going to knock him down to E. You're going to knock your pinky down a half step, flat it, okay? So we're going, the first chord is this. Then we're going to move this pinky down to E, and it goes. And you're going to hit the whole chord. So your second chord is that. But the only thing different is that the pinky is moved. First chord. And some of you who have very much undeveloped pinkies are going to find this very, very, very hard. Because all you're asking your pinky to do is just go to the left. About what, half an inch, okay? But yet you have not spent your whole life waving at people like that. Maybe some of you have, I don't want to know about it. But this pinky is very underused muscle. So that's going to take a little bit of work. So you may have to kind of stretch him out, kind of practice moving him out, practice, do a little pinky exercise, whatever works for you, okay? But practice going back and forth on your left-hand chord from one chord to the other. Again, all that's moving is my pinky. My pinky's going back and forth from F to E. F, E natural, F natural, E natural, and back and forth. Practice that till you can do it without looking at it. Practice it till you can stare at the camera and do it repeatedly without messing it up. Practice it, your pinky may be hurting, keep going, okay? And then what we have done, let's talk about what we have done. The first chord was a G minor 7 chord, and then by moving my pinky down a half step to the E, I'm making an E9 chord. Even though there's a C9 chord, Lord help, a C9 chord, even though E is on the bottom, okay? So it's actually a C chord. Hear that? So the implied bass is G in the left hand for the first chord, and then even though I have E on the bottom here, it's actually a C chord, a C9 chord. And that's how it works in the song. So in the key of F, we use G minor to a C dominant 7 or C9. That's a 2 to a 5 progression, which will eventually go to a 1. So in the key of F, it would be. Okay? And we won't do a left-handed chord for the F just yet. Let's just stick with the G minor and C9. So it's really neat. By playing this voicing of a G minor 7 chord in my left hand, And then just moving my pinky down a half step, I've gone from a G minor 7 chord to a C9 chord, which is very, very usable. Practice that, and then we'll learn ways to put it in songs.